Okay, so today we're working with parallel lines. Now, yesterday was the longest note. These rest of the ones are just proofs. Actually, this proof's only 1 page long. So, we're working with parallel lines, which we learned before were two lines that never cross, the same distance apart all the time. Think about railroad tracks. Railroad tracks that weren't parallel would not be very useful because the train would crash. So, a transverse line, okay, and I'll give away the answer right now. That's a transverse. And this is probably the one time in your life you'll use it, but that's okay because it's math and you need to know it. And your transverse will be used in different contexts throughout your life. But essentially, a transverse line is a line that cuts across two parallel lines. Okay, a line that crosses a set of parallel lines called transverse. Okay, you can see here it cuts across. You see here it cuts across. Okay, they're really convenient for finding solutions and finding angles. So there's how many patterns? 4 patterns? 3 patterns. 3 patterns I got to work with. Let me switch that letter because I just recognize it now. Okay. So if we take a look here, a Z pattern. Okay. If we take a look at a Z pattern, it's something that makes a Z, ironically. And it'll look like this. Here, here, here. Okay. A Z can also go backwards. So you could write your Z like this. Okay. And with a Z pattern, this indicates angles that are equal. In this case, you could, if you want to call it the most basic thing, it's the armpit angles that are equal. So what do you mean by armpit angle? Well, this 3 is kind of the armpit of the here. So that 3 is equal to this 6. So whatever measure that 3 is, that 6 is also equal. So over here, the 4 would be equal with the 5. Okay, and that's Z pattern. So which angles are equal using Z pattern? Well, this would be I'm just going to write it up here. I'll write it over here. So 3, of course you move. You always move right off the bat. On this side here, it would be the 3 and 6. And this side here, it is the 4 and 5. Okay. I encourage you to get a marker out and mark these off, right? So it creates a Z, and those two angles are equal. Okay. Which ironically make the 4 and the 5 equal as well over here, but not in the case of Z pattern. You couldn't prove 4 and 5 equal using Z unless you flipped it, like so, right? So F pattern. Well, we're going to make an F this time. Why does that keep going back to that size? So an F looks logically like this. Okay. Now you could also make an F. Oops. You can make an F look like this. Or I could make an F look like this. I go upside down, going this way. Or I could even go upside down, going this way. Okay. So what is equal here? I'm only going to really work with the yellow for you. Okay. If I take a look here with the yellow, this 4 here is actually going to be equal with the 8. So once again, if you want to be the ones that are covered, right? The 4 and the 8 are equal over here. On this one over here, it would be the 3 and the 7. Now, could you predict what green would be equal. So looking at this one here, what two angles would be equal? Will be the 1 and the 5 would be equal over here. On this side, what do you have? If you figured out the 2 and the 6, you'd be right. So let's do some writing here. So let's use black first. So this would be 4/8, and this would be the 3/7. Now I could also, if I want to do the green, that would mean the 1/5, and over here it would be the 2/6 are equal. So you make an F and go from there. Now C, which angles are equal in the, so C pattern, the key here is that they add to make a 180. So let's make my C here. So in this case, my C looks like this. So that means 4 plus 6 equals 180. Okay. So I'm going to stop editing it here. Go back here because I wrote this wrong. So which two angles equal 180 degrees? Okay. Now, I could also make my, let's finish off this guy. Or I could make it go backwards here. So let's mark them both. So I could do this one or this one. So I'm making a C. But I could also go backwards. And I can make a backwards C that looks like this on both of them. The key here is the parallel lines are the main parts of your shape, of your letter. So in this case, what adds up to 180? In this case, the 4 and the 6 on this side, and the 4 and the 6 on this side would, of course. Then on this side, it would be the, I don't know why I'm doing it in green since it's just fully covered. Let's do it in blue. This would be the 3 and the 5, and of course the blue doesn't go with it. Hopefully you get the gist of it. So let's go here. What two angles equal? Well, 4/5 and the 3/5. It's supposed to be 4-6. One of you will email me telling I made an error. There we go. So ZFC pattern. That's what you're working with today. So let's go to our note. So what's X equal? Well, if I take a look here, I can make a Z pattern right here, right? So I can write X equals 110 degrees, and I go Z pattern. So what pattern do you think you're going to work over here? I'm not very good at hiding it, so yes, it is another Z going the other way. So X equals 45, Z pattern. And you can see I put the little arrows on all these. If you tell anyone in the future on a test, I will not put arrows on this. Therefore, if you answer it, you'll be wrong because they're not, you don't know if they're parallel or not. So what shape can we make here that helps us out? Well, there's two angles on the inside, so we're going to make a C. This is like co-interior angles, I think that's the official word for it, but let's just C pattern. So we know that 180 is the full C. So let's minus 100 off, so we get 80 degrees. Right, so we know that is 80, and that is the, C pattern. I'll give you a couple seconds to finish this one off. And this one here is again C, going the other way. So what's my answer going to be this time though? So we know a full C pattern is 180 degrees. So we're going to minus 70 off of it, which is equal 110 degrees. So that's 110. Once again, just write C pattern. Now, take a look at this one. Try to figure it out. Hopefully, not product of elimination system, however you want to say. How come I can't remember what that is? F pattern. So we know F pattern that this one equals this one. So X is 120 degrees because of the F pattern. This one here, we're using F pattern again, but you kind of have to use your imagination to see that the F is upside down. So therefore, our X is 50 because of the F pattern. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's figure out all these guys. So let's start. I'm going to start with Z because I just like it the best. So I'm going to go, okay, here's my Z pattern. Ironically, I put the Z there. So we know this is 61 degrees Z pattern. Now I'm going to use a different pattern to find what Y is. Well, they're both on the inside here, so I'm going to use a C pattern to find that one. So my C pattern, I know it equals 180 degrees minus 61, which equals 119. So I know that's 119 degrees, and that is C pattern. Now let's use the last one, and I'm going to use, an F. So we know this one equals this one. So this is 119 degrees because of F pattern, right? Now you could have done the C pattern first and gone from there. You could have actually done like a C pattern, a straight line, then a straight line. You would have got the same thing. Okay. So this one here, almost the exact same, but I kind of mixed up the pattern here. I made the lines going straight down instead of going straight across. So I'm going to start with work from the angle I know. So what can I find with that angle? Well, I can make an F pattern. So if I make an F pattern, this here is going to equal 135 degrees because F pattern. Then from there, let me make a C pattern. So I know my C pattern is 180 minus 135, which equals 45 degrees. Where did my mouse go? 45. And that is a C pattern. And lastly, now last time I used this, I'll turn dark. Lastly, I have a Z pattern here. I keep putting the Z unconsciously where, so Z equals 45 degrees is a Z pattern. And there we're done. So you have a worksheet to go through, just using those three patterns. Okay, and you might have to reach back on your worksheet to use yesterday's work as well. But I'm not sure. I wrote the worksheet a couple days ago. Okay, have a great day.